Thank you, freedom lovers. My story is unanticipated, unexpected. I ended up in Romania, and I fought the communists for about 10 years. And you may not be familiar with Romania. Many of you weren't alive in 1989. But on Christmas Day, 1989, CNN broadcast the actual shooting, the extermination of two of the worst criminals in abortion. Babies that were imperfect were put in death rooms. They were not fed, they were not diapered, and they were left to die. I happen to have started an orphanage program there for about 10 years till Romania became part of the EU. And I can tell you that when you went up to some of these young people, you couldn't tell male or female. All you could smell was diesel fuel. The diesel fuel was what they put on their hair to control the lice. This is a government-run facility. People today are seeing what it was like in Romania when they go into Walmart or Kroger's and they see all the empty shelves, a few things to pick. People would stand in line for 12 to 24 hours to get into a grocery, to a commissary. What did they find? Maybe a package of flour, if they were lucky. Food was very scarce. The way they took control of the country was not by the people voluntarily. They came to farmers' homes and they gave them 15 minutes to pack everything they wanted to take with them. They took a coat, they took a suitcase and things, and as they walked down the road, they heard the gunfire killing their dogs, their chickens, their cows, their pigs, and setting everything on fire. I know firsthand people that lived in a hovel. That means a hole in the ground for 9 months before they were able to find a place that was safe. And this was all about moving those people that were scattered in the countryside into a city where it was easier to control them. All of this stuff, a vaccine and ID cards and packing people in, is exactly the road that we are to Romania. And I want to tell you, they call it elections, but they didn't have regular elections. They only had one person running. And we have to defend against that.
Our next speaker is Steve Krause. He's a veteran, an author, a commentator, a speaker, an activist, former Ohio House legislator. He's a radio talk show co-host on Monday Night Roundtable, WHKW. That's 12:20 a.m. The Word in Cleveland. Steve Krause.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here. I'm going to make this brief. I have a little commercial. We are on the talk show, the Monday Night Roundtable. Every Monday night from 7 to 9, it's on 12:20 a.m. out of Cleveland. You can get it on your device or mobile phone at thewordcleveland.com, thewordcleveland.com. We dare to talk about the things that they don't talk about, that the lying mainstream media will not tell you. We were talking about the coronavirus back in January. We're talking about the coming food shortage, and there's a food shortage coming. How many of you know that all that food that was in the pipeline that's being dumped by the farmers, there's a big bubble back there, and eventually it's going to hit our stores? How many of you believe that?
I do.
It's coming. We've been talking about that for almost a month. So if you want to know what's going on before anybody else wants to talk about it, tune in to Monday Night Roundtable.
You got to find the truth.
Now, I just have a couple things I want to share with you. As a veteran, I served in the Air Force for 11 years active duty, served another 7 years as a contractor. I was in Special Forces for the Air Force. I traveled all around the world. I was in the first Gulf War. How about my veterans out here? Let's give the veterans a big hand.
Yeah.
For those of you who know what it's like to be under fire, to have Scud missiles shot at you every single day, this is what it's like.
Amen.
You have to live in faith,
Amen.
or you have to live in fear.
Amen.
Now, fear will kill you.
Yes, it will.
You have to give yourself up and believe that you are already dead as a soldier so you can go about your job.
Amen.
So we didn't think we were coming back. And that's why I was able to function during the Gulf War. Now, how many of you are soldiers for Christ? How many of you are crucified with Christ? Well, you're dead to this world. So be the soldier of Christ, do the right thing, and I'm going to share a couple things. Being a former legislator, I learned a few things when I used to work here back in 2015. Now, our government was made for a moral and religious people only. It is totally unacceptable for any other. We all have a conscience. I want you to remember this. But then we have what's called law. We have a conscience, but we have the law. We get into a situation where you see to do the right thing, and then you have the opportunity, well, maybe I can get away with it, maybe I should, and your conscience kicks in and says, don't do that. Well, government that was set up by our founders is the same way. We have the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. Every elected official takes an oath to the Constitution. Every military member takes an oath to the Constitution to protect and defend it up to the giving of my life.
Amen.
Right? Unfortunately, they give their oath to the Constitution, but they act like they gave it to Ohio Revised Code. They act like Ohio Revised Code is the supreme law of the land. When I was in this legislative body, the attitude was, we're going to pass the law. It's up to the Supreme Court to make sure it's constitutional or not. Did you know that? Let me say that again. They passed the laws with the idea the Supreme Court's going to tell us if it's unconstitutional. No! They took an oath to the Constitution, not to Ohio Revised Code. That's tyranny. And that's what's got us into this problem. Mike DeWine and a whole host of others think that, well, that's the law. Amy Acton is a bureaucrat. She's appointed by the governor. You didn't elect her.